What is up, guys? It is yet another Tuesday, which means it is another weekly reset. We are going to go over all the powerful rewards, the pinnacle rewards, and see what Eververse has for this week. So without further ado, let's get into it. First up in the strikes playlist, we have the Singe for this week is Arc Singe. Arc damage increases slightly from all sources. Next, we have Blackout. Enemy melee attacks are significantly more powerful and radar is disabled. And lastly, we have Grenadier. Grenade abilities deal more damage and recharge much faster. Grenadier and Blackout are the modifiers for today, but the Singe will stay for the entire week. The Nightfall this week in the Ordeal playlist is the Prison of Elders. Completing 3 of these Nightfalls on the Adept difficulty will grant you a Tier 1 powerful reward, but if you are going for the 100,000 for the Pinnacle reward, the modifiers are Empath, Enhanced Radar, take increased damage from melee, Martyr, exploding units have more health, Champions All, this mode contains Barrier, Unstoppable, and Overload champions, which cannot be stopped without an anti-barrier, unstoppable, or overload mod. Equipment is locked, and match game is on. And if you're brave enough for the Grandmaster, the modifiers are Scorched Earth, enemies throw grenades significantly more. Shocker, when defeated, goblins spawn arc pools that cause damage over time. Champions All, again. Chaff is on. Grandmaster modifiers, contest, join in progress disabled. Extra champions, locked, loadout, match game, extra shields. Extinguish, if your fire team falls in a restricted zone, everyone is returned to orbit. And limited revives. Limited fire team revives gain additional revive by defeating champions. For the classic Nightfall playlist, we have the Strange Terrain, the Arms Dealer, and the Scarlet Keep. So if you need to complete any of those for the 100,000 level score, you're able to go in and complete those this week. In the Gambit playlist, we have, as always, Traditional Gambit, and we have Gambit Prime. Completing 3 matches in either one of these playlists will grant you a Pinnacle reward. In Reckoning this week, we have the Swords bosses, so if you are farming for any of those weapons, this is the week to do so. In the Crucible playlist this week, for the Rotator list, we have Momentum Control, and we have Countdown. Completing 4 matches in either one of those 2 playlists will grant you a Tier 1 powerful reward. For the normal playlist for Rumble, Control, Elimination, Survival, and Survival Freelance, as well as Classic Mix, completing 4 in any one of these will grant you a Pinnacle reward. Iron Banner has returned this week, so completing 4 matches in Iron Banner will grant you a Tier 1 powerful reward. Next up, on the moon, starting from left to right, we have the Garden of Salvation raid. Completing all activities in the Garden of Salvation raid will grant you a Pinnacle reward after each encounter. Next, for the nightmares this week, we have the Nightmare of the Fanatic, the Nightmare of Crota, the Nightmare of Omnigul, and completing 3 of either one of those will grant you a Tier 1 powerful reward. But if you are going for the 1030 Master, the modifiers are Fire Pit. When defeated, Acolytes spawn fire pools that cause damage over time. Champions Unstoppable. This mode contains unstoppable champions which cannot be stopped without an unstoppable mod. Champions Barrier. This mode contains barrier champions which cannot be stopped without an anti-barrier mod. Famine. All ammunition drops are significantly reduced. Equipment is locked. You would not be able to change your equipment after this activity starts. Enemy shields are highly resistant to all unmatched elemental damage for match game. Champions Mob. This mode contains additional champions. And Torment of Omnigul, arc and aerial damage is increased. Moving on to the Pit of Heresy. Completing this activity will grant you a Pinnacle reward. Next up, the Beyond Campaign mission. Completing this will grant you a Tier 1 powerful reward. Coming down here to the Nightmare Slayer challenge. For this week, you defeat 30 of the nightmares in the Altar of Sorrow, which spawns up here in Sorrow's Harbor, and it will grant you a Tier 1 powerful reward. And lastly, we have Luna's Calling Vendor Challenge, the memory quest for Eris Morn. Completing this will grant you a Tier 1 powerful reward. The Flashpoint this week is on Nessus. You will see Failsafe once you have completed all of your activities to 100%. Completing heroic adventures, lost sectors, and public events will grant you progress. Once you have completed that, you will receive a Tier 1 powerful reward. Next up in the tower, starting from left to right, we have the Drifter. Completing 8 of his bounties will give you a Tier 1 powerful reward. Next we have the Clan Reward Vendor Challenge. Getting 100% of your clan XP, which is actually just 5,000. Once you complete this, you will receive a Tier 2 powerful reward. Next up, completing 8 of the Gunsmith bounties will give you a Tier 1 powerful reward. Completing 8 of the Crucible bounties will give you a Tier 1 reward. And completing 8 of the Vanguard bounties will grant you a Tier 1 powerful reward. The bounties for Iron Banner this week are Maneuver Warfare. Defeat opponents while your team holds zone advantage. Earn bonus progress during the hunt. Victory Banners. Complete matches in the Iron Banner playlist. Wins award bonus progress. An Arsenal of Tricks. Defeat opponents with final blows from any ability. Earn bonus progress for supers and opponents with higher power level. And lastly, the Route. Defeat opponents in the Iron Banner. Earn bonus progress by landing final blows on opponents with a higher power level. Completing all of these bounties will grant you Pinnacle rewards. Next up, we have Eververse, and as always, we're going to start here on the home page. With the Consecrated Matagram, bosses have a chance to drop an upgrade module when defeated. Next is the Glimmer Shard. Defeated bosses have a chance to create a shower of glimmer. Next up is Scavenger's Boon. Combatants defeated with precision final blows have a chance to drop planetary materials. We have the cover of the Exile Projection. And looks okay. We have the Orb Weaver Shell. The perks are Treasure Hunter, Speed Demon, and a random mod. Speed Demon, your vehicle takes less time to summon and reload your weapon while you're riding, which is not bad. Treasure Hunter detects caches within a 50-meter range and increased glimmer gain. And that's a very spiky boy, if you're into those. It's like having a porcupine in your hand. Next up, we have the Lord of the Hunt weapon ornament. And that is what that looks like. Next we have Whisper Sweet Nothings emote. Yep. Alright. Moving on, we're actually going to go down to the Bright Dust section. We have Hit the Bag emote. We have Cam Nav TTN shell. It's not the best looking shell I've ever seen, but it does have Guiding Light. All XP gains increased by 10%. Public Defender, increased loot from public events on all destinations, and a random mod. If you need a ghost shell with Guiding Light, this is an option. It's not the best option, but it is an option. Next up is Hot Bliss, custom drive, random mod, and destabilizers as always. It's not that bad looking. We have the Blind Fury weapon ornament for the colony, which looks pretty good. We have the Lux Vest ornament, which has returned. We have the Rasputin Ghost Projection, the Infinity Cubes, next we have the Up in Smoke Transmat Effect. Oh, I actually like that. Yeah, that's it. I have to grab that one. Next we have the, what is it? The Circadian Chill. If you're a fan of blue and white, there you go. Then we have the Gleaming Boon of the Crucible, Gleaming Boon of the Vanguard, Scavenger's Boon, Glimmer Shard, and Consecrated Matagram, as we had before. Next up, for the seasonal offerings, these are everything that are available from Eververse during this season. Next up, we have the archives. These are all the previous things that Eververse has sold. So if you don't have any of these, feel free to pick these up. And that is going to do it for this video, guys. We appreciate you watching, and we hope that you get out there, get all of your Pinnacle powerful rewards, and get in the Iron Banner if you can.
Does not.
Otherwise, we hope you guys have a good week. We will see you back here for the Where Is There video on Friday. Take you guys later. Peace.